What's up, everybody?
My name is Anthony Irvin.
You beat yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah, CB myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jim Green.
Don't even need a hit of traffic light.
Okay, good.
Welcome to
One set.
Have you ever wanted to start your podcast but didn't know where to start? The One Set Bros are here to talk to you about Zencastr. Zencastr is the ultimate-based podcasting solution and now the all-in-one podcasting platform, making podcasting easy. They've sure made it easy for us to be able to record our podcast and our episodes every week for you guys. Once you've set up your account, you're simply one click away from recording a high-quality podcast with studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. My personal favorite feature is their multi-layered backups, which ensure our recordings are always in the highest quality, even during unstable web connections. And if you thought you needed multiple tools and services for your podcast, Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform allows you to create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to Zencastr.com/pricing and use our code OneSetPod, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences we do with all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the One Set Podcast. My name is Anthony Irvin. I'm here with my buddy Jim Green. And before we get kicked off here, we want to let you know that if you are here for the first time, welcome. If you're an OG, thank you for tuning in. You guys can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and obviously right here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell and to not miss our weekly episodes here on Fridays at 9 a.m. Jim, let everybody know where they can tune into us in and outside of our episodes.
That would be the Facebook group One Set Fam. That's the number One Set Fam. That is where we have all of our fan interaction, anything we post, if it's something relevant to the episodes or if it's just a meme throughout the week, just something for fun. That's where all, like, really all of our interactions are. You can comment on our videos and we'll get back to you. You can email us at onesetpod@gmail.com, but really the Facebook group, if you don't have Facebook, obviously the Gmail works, or commenting on the video threads on YouTube. But if you have Facebook, you should definitely join. It's a fun community we've started in the past few months. Anth, what's going on, brother?
Feeling a lot better. Last week we had some fumbles and we were going to record on the next day because something happened. And later that day, I ended up getting sick. So I was like, yeah, there ain't no way I'm going to be able to get this in this week. So thanks, buddy, for handling the episode last week. We did a little bit of a Money in the Bank prediction. So we wanted to just quickly go over the, outcome of everything. I didn't see Worlds Collide, but I heard some good things about it, so I can't really touch too much on that. But let's just quickly go over our thoughts on Money in the Bank. I know we had some big things. We were going to do a lot of things on R-Truth last week, but now that we know he's back, we didn't have to really worry about the thought that we were going to do. But that's obviously the big circulation that's been going around, and knowing that R-Truth's back, he's definitely, one of the top guys that's in the company right now and just being circulated. So I thought the pay-per-view was really good as a whole.
Yeah, I know you were at work during Worlds Collide, so you couldn't catch it. I caught maybe half of it. I caught the first match and most of the last match. Mr. Iguana is like the big. I was like, who is this guy? And then he is so fun to watch in the ring. So I know before we started recording, I told you, I was like, you got to check him out. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff, and I think they, gave a lot of cameos to the Worlds Collide wrestlers during Money in the Bank, and I think Iguana was on there. And once I saw him, yeah, he's going to be a definite person that's going to be on a weekly thing just because of his image. So and what I told you off air that in Hunter's post interview, he was already saying that we have ideas already for, merchandise for kids for the iguana stuff. I'm like, that's easy money. Just making wasn't it like an iguana puppet or
Yep.
something he was holding? So I'm like,
Yep.
easy money.
Yeah.
That's
No
like
brainer.
the Alexa Bliss doll. That's
Yep.
easy money.
Easy.
So that's something that kids are gonna love to get their hands on.
Too easy, man. The Vikingo versus Chad Gable match, you gotta watch. It's like
I heard that was really good.
It's
That's
really
one
good,
match
dude.
I do want to go back and see. I've heard a lot about that guy and what he's been doing, so I definitely got to take a look at that match.
He's insane, dude. I loved after the first match, Octagon Jr. Got into it with Dominic Mysterio, who was in the front row, and then Dom grabbed him like, he's like,
Yeah,
I'll see you at Money in the Bank, and I'll be sure to put my IC title on the line. I was like, okay, we're getting another match, and they were able to
Yeah.
work a match from the first event that they were doing into Money in the Bank. I thought that was great. I was like, why not tie them together somehow?
yeah.
and then
I liked how they, incorporated, that into Money in the Bank, because knowing that it was a very short, like 4-card, thing, they probably figured, okay, let's just get a small, little filler in there to be in between these Money in the Bank matches to fill some space. But yeah, I got to see the Octagon and Damian match, so that was decent. I'll have to go back and dissect it a little more, but from what I saw, it was good. A lot of these AAA people are getting their first taste at like going in front of like probably 10-20,000 people, so they're just getting off all that adrenaline of being in front of big crowds. So that's cool for them.
Yeah, mainstream wrestling. I mean, WWE is at the top of the food chain. So
yeah, I mean, why not? If you had that opportunity to partner with somebody like that to get your name in front of more people, I mean, how wouldn't you not want to be part of that?
Right. So starting off Money in the Bank with the women's ladder match, which I was most looking forward to.
Mhm.
I thought it was pretty great outside of like, yeah, there were some botchy spots where like, hey, the women aren't as tall as the men, so they're not navigating the ladders like the men can.
Right.
Just the double sunset. I loved how they had the ladders set up on the caddy corner with the ladder going off each side into the turnbuckles. I was like, that's such a great view. And they set up for that double sunset flip on the ladder spot. I was like, damn, if that was timed perfect, but they had their backs to each other. So I get,
so it's kind of hard to time.
Yeah, I get the difficulty behind it. I'm just glad that everything was safe, because I felt like I always get a little nervous with the ladder setup. So I'm like, ooh, that's not like propped in there as well as it should be. Another spot like that in a men's match, I forget what that exact spot was.
There was a couple sunset flips by Andrade, I think, and Penta had a really good, Mexican Destroyer. Oh my God, it was so good.
That's what it was. It was the Penta Mexican Destroyer. That spot where I think Andrade was setting up the ladder in the corner, and Matt was overwatching, and he was like, that's not in there real well. That's nerve-wracking. That's dangerous. And
I thought Andrade botched a lot more than he usually does in the match, because I think he had the spot where he was on the ropes and he was going to, punch off the ropes and get to the ladder, but he botched that. He must have had his footing wrong, and he slipped off the rope and didn't make it to the ladder, so he had to kind of jump down and get to the ladder. There's another spot or two that he had, so I'm like, it's not like Andrade to botch that many times, so just probably a mental thing. But I thought the women's ladder match was good. I was not expecting Naomi to win, but I'm happy that she won. I mean, especially her new persona since she's, started it back at WrestleMania. I'm like, she definitely deserves it.
I did have her pick to win. I feel like they're going to get that title off Tiffany Stratton and on her. And then you get Jade and Bianca worked into that title picture. It makes sense. That feud deserves the title. That storytelling has been going on for some time, and why not carry it on even longer? Get us, I mean, the Bianca and Jade match at WrestleMania that we've been clamoring for since Jade showed up. why not have the title on the line? So like Naomi being where she is in her career, for her to get Money in the Bank, for her to get that title run in her heel run, I
Yeah.
mean, at this stage in her career, I love it for her. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll help elevate Bianca and Jade even more. I mean, they're already stars, like, but we're gonna get them. You could say Bianca's gotten to superstar level. She's been pretty over. I feel like she does this like up and down roller coaster thing. Like
Yeah.
get her and get Jade into a point where they're like up here and then they're just there. Right.
Yeah. I think with Naomi, I think she's benefited from her time away from, being released and then coming back. And,
Mhm.
she was in TNA for a little bit, right? And she did all her work down there and then coming back to WWE. I think, if anything, it's helped her career to know how to, work better, and especially how she's taking this new, almost like psychotic, but like just rearranged, no pun, type of character. I love it. So again, I didn't think about having her win, but I think my first thought was maybe Alexa Bliss or Stephanie Valkyrie. I thought, having Stephanie Valkyrie just being punched right into there could have just been like the wild card to be like, okay, everybody's just really focused on her.
Right.
But I would have definitely thought Alexa Bliss had a pretty good chance. I mean, Rhea, everybody would have thought that, but I think it's to the point where she can just have somebody else win it. She doesn't really need that to keep her relevant. She's just by herself. Great.
Nobody really wanted Rhea to win. They were like, it's great that she's in the match,
it.
but she doesn't freaking need it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I get
it's
it.
like,
So I'm okay with her not winning it. So yeah. Kudos to Naomi. I hope that she has a successful cash in, and like I like the fact that you're gonna hopefully have her, Jade, and Bianca have some type of thing when she eventually takes it off of Stratton. Eventually, most likely be probably getting that at SummerSlam.
yeah,
And then
that SummerSlam triple threat is almost a shoe in. I don't know if they pull the
yeah,
trigger on the Women's Evolution pay per view like that early, because I feel like that match is a blockbuster SummerSlam match. So it's
yeah,
like,
or I mean, yeah, because that the Evolution is in July, right?
yep, July 13th.
So it might be too soon for her to cash in on that, but I definitely think we would get the cash in at SummerSlam, where it would be the person who wins the Queen of the Ring who's going to have that title shot at SummerSlam for. Is it meant for SummerSlam or just at some point that?
So it's meant for SummerSlam, but it's the winner gets a title shot of at the champion of their respective brand. So if a Raw woman wins, she'll go after Io. So
right, true. Yep. So if it is SmackDown winner, they'll face Stratton, and that could be the time where Naomi can pick up the championship, because I think obviously with her being a heel character, that would be the perfect point for her to just steal it from, instead of having to really obviously get into the match.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important that they, if either Seth or Naomi are going to burn the cash in the next month or two, the other one's got to hold on to it for a while. Like, you can't burn through both of them immediately, because then like the lure of Money in the Bank is just missing for an entire year.
I think we mentioned
until
that
the next
same thing
one.
last year with the Money in the Bank, that like
Yep.
you can't have both of them just burn out in the next 2 months, and then just have the rest of the year be no Money in the Bank people running around. So I would definitely feel Seth should be the one to hang on to it a little bit.
Yeah, if we're gonna get Naomi cashing in sooner, then Seth's got to hang on to it. Dare I say, John Cena goes into his final match and successfully defends the title, and then Seth Rollins cashes in on him and takes the belt off of him,
because he's all about the future of wrestling. So it with Cena ending and just starting the new millennia of future wrestling, that would be Seth. And then we get into Mania season in Vegas again, which we were just told. So we got Vegas Part 2. So yeah, man, this definitely brings a lot of different possibilities, and not everybody's happy with Seth winning.
I'm
But
good with it. I mean, I had LA
Yeah.
Knight picked just because I was like, is
Same.
he really gonna lose a third time in a row? And of course,
he did.
he lost
Yeah.
the third time, and everybody's up in arms. I'm like, look, I think LA Knight's gonna get his moment. Like, I would be really, really surprised if like LA Knight just fell into obscurity. Like, the guy's too popular, right?
He's
Um,
too good on the mic. I mean, yeah, is he
if
the
Jey
best
Uso has the
wrestler?
freaking world heavyweight title right now, LA Knight better get that freaking title at some point.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, he's
Come
not
on.
the best wrestler, but he's got the mic skills. He can work great with people. So, there's no reason why LA is not going to hold the title at least for one time for a couple months before he's done. So, yeah, it sucks that he lost, but with the way that their direction is going, it's understandable that Seth won, and I mean, I'm fine with it.
I really like Seth Rollins cashing in for the WWE Championship and not the World Heavyweight title. Granted, I know he's on Raw, but he can cash in on anyone.
Right.
I was talking last week about we're getting a draft or a shakeup of some point at some point.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of them trying to fit it into the calendar because they have so many PLEs stacked up through SummerSlam.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, and it almost feels like we're not going to get that draft until after SummerSlam because everything is just in a certain position right now that I feel like Hunter's like, I can't shift things around right now, right?
Right.
Okay, outside of the women's Money in the Bank match, we did have the Lyra and Becky match, which I was like, Becky's winning this. I thought we were going to get Bailey after the fact.
I really thought so too.
And we did, and I was like, that's kind of weak sauce.
So it could just be one of those things like slow rolling. You could get Becky and Bailey at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So
I don't, or do have that women's Evolution PLE.
Evolution. I keep forgetting about Evolution. That
Yeah.
can be a good setup there too.
Yeah. And then after that, we got the, no. I mean, match order is not really super relevant at the moment. I think we got the Dominic Mysterio Octagon Junior IC title match after the women's.
I think
Money
it was
in the
right
Bank,
after that.
which I thought was, for me, I was just excited that they got AAA represented on the Money in the Bank card to give them the exposure that they got. I was like, that's excellent. Kudos for that booking.
For sure.
And then we talked about Becky and Lyra, and then it was the men's Money in the Bank match, which I thought was pretty. The key moment in this is Jacob Fatu, right? So
Yeah, that was great.
Everything after Fatu turning on Solo, I loved that. It wasn't just like, okay, he yanks him down off the ladder and then he hits him with the moonsault. He was like, yeah, no, I'm going to put him through the ladder too. I was like,
Yeah, just rock bottom through the through the ladder.
rock bottom. It was interesting that ate up as much time as it did within the match. I was like, everyone should be recovered and back in the ring and just killing each other now, right?
Yeah.
Granted, you did have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed just wiping people
He
out
just
outside the ring.
leveled Chad Gable, and they totally missed it on the camera too.
Chad
They
Gable
got the last second of Gable just getting like pummeled by
just,
Braun Breaker.
just eating.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta love Braun Breaker though, dude. Like he is like he's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for them to have heels anymore because when the heels are really good and like exceptionally, like Jacob Fatu, like everybody just loves these guys.
Dom right now. I mean, everybody was hating him this time last year. Now he's being praised. So
yeah, and then El Grande Americano is climbing a ladder and people going crazy just because they know how much of a riot
on the fireball ladder. Once they did that, I'm like, he's winning.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, if you have one gimmick ladder with the sponsorship, it's like, if anyone's climbing these other plain ass ladders, like they're not winning the match at this point, right? So I feel like every ladder at next Money in the Bank, which they're talking now about doing later in the calendar year next year, just jumping ahead, which I think is great because if you have this Night of Champions, the winner, like the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring tournament, crowning your number one contender for SummerSlam, then Money in the Bank needs to push into the fall to kind of fill that void, because you get the Rumble, which has the WrestleMania implications.
Yeah.
You have this King and Queen of the Ring that's now becoming the SummerSlam implication. Like that matters for that. So we don't have anything in the fall that really matters. I mean, yeah, we have War Games, which is a fun, like it sells itself. It's fun, but if you put Money in the Bank in the fall, I feel like that'll really fill out the calendar year a lot better with really,
especially for the football season too.
Yeah, sure.
Give something to have people look forward to instead of just always turning to football. I mean, but yeah, either way. But yeah, I'd agree with that. Like it seems like fall's always that like
low
up and down, wavy period. Type of time.
Yeah. Outside of the men's Money in the Bank, we get to the main event, which is John Cena and Logan Paul against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. And man, let me tell you, this match sucked at first. I was just like, this is so boring. I don't even care about it.
It really was.
And nobody, other the last 5 minutes of the match, it started getting exciting. And then John Cena gets taken out. The shirt comes up in the back, and you can see, I'm like, that's R-Truth, man. And I was like, if his shirt didn't come up, I mean, if you were there live, you had no idea who it was. He pulled that mask off, and like we all had goosebumps. We were just absolutely going bonkers.
Yeah,
we were
I was like, yo,
dude.
I honestly did not think. I mean, even though you kind of had like the shirt come up, still didn't like fathom thinking R-Truth. But yeah, once he took that hood off, I'm like, oh man, okay, great.
I was like, either they pulled off the biggest swerve, or they listened to the WWE universe and they worked something out. Apparently they heard the backlash from the fans. Were trying to reach out to R-Truth, and he wasn't answering phone calls from WWE. Yeah, so Nick Khan himself calls R-Truth and negotiates the deal to bring him back, and it is like the best surprise that I've seen in a long time, dude. Like just because, I mean, like CM Punk is like the best in like the modern era right now, just because like nobody really thought that would ever happen. The R-Truth stuff was so recent that nobody would have thought that this was going to happen, right?
No. There's two things that came last week about R-Truth. Well, there's one thing that came last week, and I'll give you like a theory that I think I told you about this theory that I had about Truth, but I'll make you laugh on this first one. I'm not sure if I told you this, but I think on Bubba Ray's podcast, they were having this talk about a potential like fan theory or fan booking of bringing R-Truth over to AEW, but treating it like he thinks he's still in WWE.
Yeah, I did see him.
I was like, dude, that would be money. And just he would just go up to like Dean Ambrose, and obviously, you know, John Moxley calling him Dean Ambrose, like, Dean, what's going on? He's like, what are you talking about? And then you know, switching up Tony Khan and Nick Khan. Dude, that would be the sickest booking to ever. Just having AEW and WWE link just for the fact of entertainment, that I would be so on board for that if they made that work.
Yeah, but that would be R-Truth on AEW saying WWE names, which you know he's not allowed to.
Obviously,
At the same time, who said it? Oh, CM Punk said it to MJF in AEW like years ago. He's like, you look like a watered down Miz. And people, and people went absolutely
never had
bonkers.
Like the label of WWE said, but you had WWE references, especially it definitely between like, you know, because Sami Zayn the one year saying like, oh, maybe I'll just go to AEW, and like everybody's like, oh my god. So like they've definitely like scratched the surface of like how far they can talk about each of the brands.
Yeah,
but yeah, that would have been so good. But
yeah, I would have loved that if that were a thing. But I love that he's not gone. Even better.
Yeah, I'm glad he's still here. So my theory and the fact that if they still want Truth to be in this, like, I love John Cena, I want this like thing. My theory is like now R-Truth or Ron Killings is in his heel Cena persona, since he mimics Cena all the time. So now he's in his heel Cena persona, and him taking out Cena was his Cena taking out Cody, and doing everything. So I'm like, this would be interesting if they play that role,
if they're
and
able
now
to
if we
mirror
get like
that.
a heel Truth Cena type thing.
Yeah, if I mean, the crowd's gonna just absolutely love him. He's a top baby face in WWE at this point.
Yeah, and then like his bashing, like how Cena's bashing the crowd, it would be, Ron bashing the WWE for letting him go, saying like, I've been here for so long and you guys just automatically just let me go without any warning, anything. So he can just bash the whole backstage WWE, like everybody, and bashing Triple H and everybody. Just
Ever since the company got bought out, they've just been money grubbing.
whoopsie.
But yeah, dude,
That would be perfect. If they went that way. So I'll be looking forward to, hopefully, I don't think he'll be doing anything for SmackDown tonight with it. I mean, Raw tonight, they'll wait till SmackDown. So it'll be interesting if they let Truth cut a promo to let him explain everything.
Apparently, Cena's going to be on Raw tonight, so
okay, then
let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. By the time this comes out, we'll find out. But
we'll know. Yeah.
That'll be an easy money situation if we get Truth tonight on Raw. But yeah, those two things just from last week, since I wasn't here on that. But
yeah, that was Money in the Bank.
I thought Seth, obviously being the winner of the Money in the Bank, it's understandable. I mean, like you said, I was hoping for LA Knight. And then we get, like, because I've been hearing rumors of LA Knight eventually, trying to take the belt from Cena. We might get a Cena and LA Knight match. I'm okay with that. Cool. Definitely. I'm not sure if he'll win at this point now, since he doesn't have the Money in the Bank. But,
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So we got Daniel Bryan versus John Cena at SummerSlam, and then Randy Orton cashed in. This is leading up to WrestleMania 30, so 11 years ago, or I guess it would be 12 years ago, because we're headed towards 42.
Yeah.
If they had LA Knight win the King of the Ring, and then we get John Cena versus LA Knight wins, and then Seth Rollins cashes in on LA Knight, and then everybody's
whoopsie.
And then it just builds up to LA Knight winning at Mania, so it's Daniel Bryan all over again.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I just, it's fine. It's there. The blueprint has already been laid out before. It's just a matter of, is that the direction that they want to go with Cena dropping the title? If we want to get face Cena in the fall, they have to navigate his face turn now at some point to make it sensible before December, and it's just kind of like wait and see what they do in the next 6 months.
Yeah, something still tells me he's just going to ride heel until the last little bit, because I think supposedly he's Hunter broke the fourth wall of his hand, like Cena's loving the heel stuff and he's having fun doing it. So I mean, it doesn't seem like he's going to have any chance of doing his babyface turn. He might just run heel for the rest of the year.
I would be really okay with that. I don't know how he's going into his last match in Boston as a heel. I mean, the place is going to absolutely be there for him to win it. So at that point, it's just, okay, what heel can we book against Cena that the crowd is not going to want to win, kind of thing.
The only way that he comes out of this heel persona is, I like the fact that if you get Rock back in the equation, and it's like Rock had him under this, like, I took your soul, so he's under this trance from the Rock, and he just snaps out of this, and then he just turns on Rock. He gets back into his face persona, and then
I guess that would be the way, and it's
because you just can't come out the next day and be like, okay, I'm a babyface, so you gotta have some type of turn with it.
I love y'all. Actually, I was just lying this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about, but
yeah, I mean, and that's just a matter of, will The Rock be at SummerSlam? And it's like, you can never count on The Rock being there if we think he's going to be there. Like, we thought he was going to be at Mania, and then he just decided not to. He's like, nah.
Yeah, just pretty much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think just like always, I think we went over our talk a little bit, but it's all good. We love it.
Yeah.
We have more to look forward to it, but we'll get into that as these weeks build up into the summer. But dude, we wanted to also uh segue into the fact that this is episode 180 and we have to start on our challenge.
Yep.
So we're kind of both at like almost like a hesitation of where we start with these, because again, I'm not much of a dancer. You don't play guitar on the regular, so it's like we're both at this point like, where do we start? So it's like we wanted to kind of go over like when you have a like a choreographing piece that comes to you, what's your first initial things on how you get started to learn it? And on the same thing as me, like when I get a song that I got to learn for a gig or something, what are my first intentions of like how to like really start off on certain things? So maybe we can, go over that a little bit.
Sure. So I had pitched this right before episode 160 and said, we have 40 weeks. I should be able to learn to play the guitar pretty decent in 40 weeks time. That's like more than half of a year. Now we have 20 weeks.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'll have recitals happening the next couple weekends, and then my summer is pretty light. So I'm going to have time to sit and practice and play. I also have been navigating like a, what's it called? A pinched nerve in my neck and some shoulder issues that are on the mend. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to feel apprehensive to leaning over the guitar and learning how to play. Any rate, so for learning a choreographed routine, I guess like growing up, there was like a teacher in front of me. So that's not the case this go around. When I first picked up the backup gig with Pretty Poison, I had videos sent to me to learn. So at this point, I'll be learning to play via like YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. I'll obviously have your guidance along the way. I
had already kind of made like a blueprint of the section. Okay. So I also had an intention of making like a small video of me playing the part that I want you to make, and maybe like breaking down a couple of parts. But also like we'll definitely be able to be together and just kind of learn a couple things too. So
yeah. So through the video, obviously the coordination is like step one. Like you're learning like, okay, right foot, right arm, turn this way, face this way. And then so you get your body to do the mechanics, right? And I guess with learning the guitar, it's like, hey, the coordination of getting the chords down and stuff like that. So then it's just memorizing, right? Which I don't think either one of us are too worried about memorizing the sequences, right? Like I don't think you're going to have trouble like, oh, I forget what choreographed part is next. Like I think you're based on us dancing at your wedding, you didn't have any missteps, and that was you learning the night before. So
exactly
with some practice, like I don't think you're going to have trouble with the memorizing part of it, especially you have had and continue to have to memorize lyrics for music and chords for playing and keys now that you're playing the keyboard. So I think just getting the coordination down and memorizing the sequences would be step one. And then after you have that on lock and it's like second nature, then it's about the delivery and the performance quality behind it. And for me playing the guitar, it's obviously like I'm going to learn the mechanics and I'm going to learn how to like I'll have it memorized in the order. But then I don't want to just be able to play it. I want to own it. Like I want to be able to be like, I want to have the performance behind it while I'm playing it and feel like I'm like living it up while I'm playing.
Yeah. Because there's like I just saw in like a reel and the fact that like with soloing on guitar, like this one person like, have you ever like been soloing and acting like you're just playing like an exercise like scale, but then like you don't have that feeling and like you're just rocking out with it? That's like what you were just saying, like it's one thing going through the motions and be like C, D,
Mhm.
E, and just kind of, and then soloing like bop 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 bop. That's one thing, playing all the notes and getting all the right notes, but then like having the feel and like really digging into those notes and digging into that one little hit there. So
Yep.
and I'm sure it's the same thing how you just said with dance. Like you can go through the motions, left foot, right foot, but
Yeah.
once you get like the performance, you're like really like hitting that anticipation of like that move coming into it.
Yeah, it's once you have that coordination down of the steps and you want to dance, the dance is the passion end of it and the performance
Yeah.
end of it. Um, the, I know I've said this on here many episodes ago, but it takes an athlete to be able to dance. It takes an artist to be a dancer. So,
Mhm.
like when I relate that to the guitar, it's like, okay, like I can have the skill of playing the guitar, but as an artist, I want to be able to perform it, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
for you doing the Thriller video, it's like you can't just do steps with that. That's kind of the fun part, in that, like, yes, you are doing a dance that is very much attainable as far as learning the mechanics of it. But
Mhm.
you getting into character, which I know you're excited about, because like it's gonna fall right around Halloween, and you're gonna like
Yeah.
you're gonna own it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You're gonna be able to
Yeah.
like do the get up that you want to do, and you'll be able to tap into character, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I had questions about picking up the guitar. I know I did start learning to play. I think it was like 4 years ago that
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe like 3-4 years ago.
I think it was 2021. I was looking at like really expensive guitars, and I was like, I'm gonna get this for my first one. And then I was like, yeah, or I could just go on Facebook Marketplace and find someone that has like a used cheap one to learn.
Yeah.
And then when I'm good at it and I can appreciate it more, then I can get a really nice electric guitar.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
have since then, I shouldn't say acquired, but like an acoustic guitar just kind of fell into my presence,
Mhm.
which is great because like I have them separate, and I can appreciate them for the different value that they have.
Yeah.
But I know that they're both out of tune. Like, explain tuning to me. I know that there's like certain ways to tune.
Yeah, so outside of just like there's standard tuning, which is your like, so when somebody says like, oh, we're just in standard tuning, so that's just your basic E, A, D, G, B, E. And uh then you'll also hear people saying like, oh, I'm tuned a half step down, like or like I'm an E flat or a half step down. So then it's more like you're in that standard tuning, but just tuned a half step down, which would be E flat, or E flat, A flat, uh D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat.
Mhm.
And then there's, a lot of alternate tune. There's so many, especially in today, there's been so much like more experimental things with different tunings, drop C, drop D, all the way down to like A. And that's like your like really big heavy metal bands that are like that really like,
Yeah,
doom,
that
like
really deep
that
sound.
really
Yeah.
low A string. And that's when it gets into like guys that play like 8 strings, and that gives like that extra low tone. So that's one thing I really wanted to like acquire. Like I would love to learn how to play like a 7 or 8 string, but just like you definitely need like big hands to get to that eighth string.
Ain't happening here
So
for me. I'll tell you that.
I would, because I think I played it once at a guitar store, and I'm like, yeah, I got to definitely like, look up some YouTube videos and just knowing how to tune this, because I know you're just tuning an extra string down to like you're either like a D or a B to get that extra octave. But yeah, like tuning wise, it's just more the fact that like that's going to be your main anchor for that song. So this, for the song that I picked for you, this is going to be in a C, I think either C standard. So you're going to drop well, when you think highest string, your highest string is obviously the one that's furthest away. So it's going to be your first string, And then your low string is actually your sixth string, which is the one that's closest to you, which is the more thicker string.
Mhm.
So you're going to tune that all the way down to C. And when we're together, it'll be a lot more visual for you. But you know, the chords that you play for these are usually like bar chords, but when you're in like these D and C, like you're, instead of playing like a full, like, you know, basic bar chord, a lot of these chords are in that same fret. So all you have to do is just one finger and hold down that chord. So
So you're not moving up and down the neck a lot.
yeah, just you're basically just going bum 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 instead of like three fingers or like that two power chord. Like it's usually just one finger, and you're just able to hit all those. There
Okay.
might be a couple ones that you're maybe a little bit of a stretch, but again, it's like just practicing that chord and learning the stretch. And sometimes you can find other areas to play it that might be a little bit easier. You might get a little bit of a different tone because the strings are different. But
Okay.
yeah, so the easiest way to tune would just be like, especially for me, if I don't have a tuner on hand, there's a lot of apps that you can just download, like a basic guitar tuner. And if you now it's easier for acoustic because you have the open ability of the acoustic, that you can just have the phone right next to the acoustic guitar, play it, and just hit the first note, and it'll tune to that note. Electric guitar, you would probably have to have the phone on the actual guitar for the phone to hear the resonating strings, but it is possible. So you just basically, if you look at a guitar tuner, you know, it'll kind of be going like this, and it'll go from like, you know, flat to sharp, but then you want it right in the middle, and that's like that's tuned.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's like a basic thing on how like tune. You always want to make sure when you're tuning to that specific string that it's right in that middle. So that'll just let you know that it's in tune.
Sweet. And then for the song I'm playing, you did say like I'm going to be playing C. Is that what you said?
It is a C standard song, and there's a couple riffs in there. Now a riff is different from a chord. A riff is like a you know, a combination of different notes played at a time, where a chord is just a series of notes played that kind of makes this almost sound I'm saying the same thing, but your chords are just basically a chord shape, where riffs you're playing sometimes like individual notes.
Okay.
So it's a combination, like when the chorus hits, that's just all chords. And then there's like a melody on top of it as well. But
the intro is all riffs, because it's like
the intro like has like some chords, some open chords, and then that main that's like your riff melody on top of like the chords, and the chords are just ringing out.
Okay.
So we'll figure out, you know, and like I said, I might get you in the studio here, and we might do a cool like video package with it too. I'm like, again, I have like a couple cool ideas to really get this going.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's a combination of like riffs and chords in there that kind of go back, and they're like kind of sometimes stacked on each other.
Okay.
So I'll have to dissect what parts I would want you to play if we're trying to just do this as a live take. You know, there'll be parts where, you know, you'll be listening and you're playing. Sometimes you'll be playing the riff, and then sometimes you'll be playing the chords. So if anything, during the chorus, I'll just have you play the chords, and the riff will be, you know, playing in the background of it.
Okay.
And then like, so the intro, you might play the riff, but the chorus, you'll play the chords, and then you'll play that. I'll have you try to play that riff in between, right out of the chorus. So that'll be a cool little, you know, thing. And then I'll teach you how to like do like the chugging parts, because that's, you know, a cool like type of like dance type of rhythm, because you have like a da 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 da, and those are the type of things that you have to slow that down to kind of like because that's where a metronome really helps playing those things, because once you kind of know that like you're in that like bump 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 then you can kind of get the rhythm of that, slow the metronome down, and kind of get like the pacing of it, and once you get better, speed it back up. So again,
it's going to be the same thing with you learning the dance. It's like you're going to learn it slow.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm getting excited about in the same way you would get excited about. There's a lot of things that you can teach me that you're like, okay, I want you to do it this way, but I know I have to slow it down for you in order for you to get back up to here. So that's how I feel with you. Like, I want you to play it this way, but I'm like, I got to start you down here and then get you to go back up to that level. But yeah.
20 weeks, I feel it's still doable. But
it's still doable.
I don't want another 10 weeks to get away, and then it's like 10
and
weeks doesn't
we're not
feel
looking
like
for
that much time.
perfection. We're not definitely looking for perfection. But like, I guess my question for you, obviously Michael Jackson's Thriller, we all know certain parts of it. We know, the iconic but like, it's, where would you start if you're like, you're just basically learning like the basic sections, and then trying to just mold them all together? Like, what's the perfect, like, if you were doing this, obviously I'm sure you've like done and you kind of know the dance, what's like your first intention? Like, if you were in my position, like, what's your first thing you're probably learning?
So the choreographed sequence in the video, when the camera pans over to Michael and he's the zombie, and then she's like,
yeah.
Or it zooms out of her and she's like in like she's paralyzed.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally just walking 1 and 2. Like, they're walking on the 1 hold, 2, the walk 3 hold, 4, the walk 5 hold, 6 walk 7 hold, 8, and then they march every count 1, 2, 3, 4. And on those first 4 steps, the head goes over on the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the hip thrust kicks in.
Yeah. I guess I never really counted it out either.
Yeah.
So like the counting out will definitely help as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. I know you count in 4s playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You count by 4s playing. So you're going to have to get adjusted to 1 through 8, which I don't think is going to be it's not going to be that hard.
It's almost, just like you're counting, like, so if it were me, it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
For you, it's like just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
That applies.
Yeah.
So the first 2 8 counts are the marching, and then the third 8 count is the hip thrusting. 1 and 2. He goes, he's at the camera. 1, 2, he nods. 3, 4, he looks again. 5, 6, he holds there. 7, 8, and then we get the 1, 2, 3, 4 turn. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we get the ball change. This is the and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he pivots over here. 5, looks 6, 7, then we get the thrust again on 8, again on the 2, again on the 4, again on the 6, and then it's the clap, and then the shimmy, 2,
3,
and
4,
then the shoulders, and then the clap, and then we go the other way. And then there's like a step ball change, step ball change.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a little gray after that, but we get into the walk, shift, walk, shift, and then this is all just like the dance breakdown, and then we eventually get to the shoulder look, and then they're just walking, and then they turn, and then we get back to the chorus, because this is Thriller, going, and then that sequence is a little bit more complex, so it actually works itself up nicely. So as you're learning it, it'll be like maybe the first half of the dance breakdown, and then the second half of the dance breakdown, and then the chorus. So
gotcha.
And then the chorus, after the chorus rolls through for 4 8 counts, we get through the shake, 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 and
Mhm.
then they go back into the zombie walk. So
Yeah.
it's once you get through that first chorus, like the chorus repeat section will be
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, because the chorus repeats twice, right?
Yeah.
So then it's the same dance twice.
So it's a combination.
The ending, I think, is a little bit different on the second time around.
This second go around of the chorus, it's like it's a combination of steps that you had already done, just in a different sequence. So
Gotcha.
nothing really new that you have to learn. You just have to memorize the sequence and the movements in different orders. But
Gotcha.
again,
Gotcha.
once we get together and you're starting to show me through the song, and I'm breaking down the video for you and say, learn this, learn this, learn this,
Mhm.
and just get good with understanding the coordination and the timing. And then when it gets closer to the time and you feel comfortable with, you can play the song. Like you play the song, and then you have the dance memorized.
Mhm.
Then I can talk to you about like textures and tones and how to channel your energy, so that like, hey, this is where you want to be sharp with your movement. Like when they do the clap here, and then the shoulders go, like just
Yeah.
knowing like, okay, yeah, instead of you're putting your hands over your head, you put your hands down at your legs, you look over here, you look to the front, your shoulders lift up,
Yeah,
your shoulders
you
lift
just
up,
don't want to lazy that. Just you want to like really hit those like moments and little nuances and stuff.
right. But then like in the intro where you just start walking, you don't have to be super heavy because you're trying to build the suspense. So the
Mhm.
tone of those walks don't have to be like
Yeah.
100%.
It's the same way with guitar. Like the thing with guitar is like you're same thing with dance. Like you're almost, it's like they say you're almost building a story, or you're trying to like you don't want to just go off and build your best things right away. You want to build up to that big moment. So you want to just start slow, like again, like really anticipate something and then hit that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Freebird, right? So,
Yeah.
like one of the best guitar
Yeah.
solos of all time.
Exactly.
Like just
Yeah.
how that is, and I've listened to that maybe not as many times as you have, but I've listened to it a lot. And
Yeah.
like
John
just
Mayer had a big thing about soloing. He's like, saying that everybody wants to start all the way high up at the neck and just like blare out, but then he's like,
you
once
got
you do
nowhere
all
to go
this,
from there.
there's nowhere to go but
Right.
back down the fretboard, and then all you got all like your lower tones. So it's like you're not gonna go up here and then go right down there. Like it's like you want to build up to all here, and then just at that moment, that's a better, like
You get a better
thought
payoff.
process.
Yeah.
You get like your standing ovation type of thing doing that way, instead of automatically just trying to impress people. Hey, I'm all the way up here. Look at me.
Yeah.
Like you want to build people to know that you're going to eventually end here,
Mhm.
kind of just like the with the Beat It solo. He just it's not all the way up here at first. He starts with that he's all up in like the lower middle tone registers, and then he gets into the all the way up here to
Yeah, that's
So
another great I mean,
so yeah, R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen.
yeah. This is fun. I'm glad that we like, because I know you texted this morning like, what do you think for today? And I was like,
Yeah.
well, we did just have a wrestling thing, and we wanted that conversation to be a little bit shorter so we could spend more time on this. But we definitely wanted to tap into this, given we are 20 episodes away from episode 200, man.
Yeah, dude.
Just
outside of what we talked about, 200 episodes doing this podcast. And again, we've said this many a times, never would have thought, even making it to 100, but now we're talking about 200.
Yeah.
So
it's coming up on 4 years, man. I mean, we are now, well, I guess we're in the beginning of June, but in a few weeks, we'll be 3.5 years into this, man.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to my teaching schedule lightening up, so I will definitely have time throughout the summer to get the practice in.
You'll get in my studio. I'm going to get in your studio.
Yep.
You'll be in my element. I'll be in your element. And again, we haven't done like a dance thing together since my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked to kind of just have you like me be the student, you be the teacher, and me just sit back and watch you do the thing, and
And then
vice versa. Just
vice
like you
versa,
being in
flip the
here
roles.
and me
Yep.
just showing you everything, and it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
And there are a couple songs in the past. Well, one that just came out Friday off the Wayne album, actually, which everyone is trashing on, and it's fine. There are definitely songs on there that I'm like, this is not
Yeah,
great.
I'm not the biggest Wayne fan, but when something is so popular to the point like everybody's talking about it, whether positive or negative, I'm like, hey, let me just maybe check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe something's on there that I might like, but I haven't listened to it yet. But I'll probably give it a little bit of a listen, see what happens.
I'll send you after we sign off here in a few minutes. I'll send you the song that I really like, that I'm like, I want to play this.
Right.
There is a shoot. Why can't I? There's a Papa Roach song that I really want to learn how to play and like eventually learn how to sing. I don't have the greatest singing voice, so I would need some help on that.
Me either. It's all good.
Yeah, right. So anything else? I was just like, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, I'm even more stoked now that we got to talk about like our first little things of what we like, how we take something new, whether it be a music piece or a dance piece, and now I'm ready to be taught by the master and vice versa. Like, let's
Likewise,
just get this ball rolling. So
I'm excited to learn from you, and I'm excited to teach you. Like,
yeah, man, same.
I mean,
same.
It's going to be a lot of fun. 200 episodes coming up. I do want to give a quick shout out to you and all the rest of the dads out there. We got Father's Day coming up on Sunday, so I wanted to wish every dad out there a happy Father's Day.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, same for everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We are not always talked about, but we are an important piece.
I mean, from the outside, I feel like parenthood is a very thankless job. So
yeah,
it's like, I feel like the end game is obviously you're getting to raise your two boys right now, and just wanting the world for them and wanting everything for them, but also wanting in return for when they're grown to appreciate all that you have done to provide them the life that they're living. So I know I think we talked about our dads either last year or the year before for Father's Day, and how lucky and blessed that we are that our dads were out there provided for us and raising us the way that they did. So
yeah, for sure. Shout out to both of them.
Shouts.
Yeah. If anything, I think we're good for this one. If you are, bud.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, I think we tackled a good amount. Again, once everybody here for the first time, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all at the handle of One Set Pod. To all our OGs, and shout outs to everybody on the community, One Set Fam. Thank you for all for tuning in. Jim, one more time, let them know about the One Set Fam a little bit, with where they can hit us up in and outside of the episodes.
So our One Set Fam Facebook group is our community thread where we hang out with our fans, which, again, a lot of wrestling fans that we ran into at WrestleMania 40 last year. And then we have a couple friends in there, a couple family members, but a couple of peeps that we didn't necessarily know until they learned of us through the podcast. So that's the Facebook group, the number one Set Fam. Hit us up there. And thank you for your time this morning. This lovely Monday morning. I love you, brother. Until next time, everyone.
It's been One Set.